Fine.
Eventually, one of these days, someone's going to come in and shoot that owl that's living in here.
Is this your cult?
As.
I've not even got the timestamp document open. No, I have.
Okay, put that
Sorry.
down.
So great, everyone, and welcome back to the Dark Tales of Runeterra.
Oh no. I just logged into Roll20 and I immediately got a poll. How likely are you to recommend Roll20 to someone like you? Well, I hate myself, so I hate people like me! So, none, because I probably wouldn't talk to people like me. That's dangerous. That's bad for your health.
That is fair.
Don't talk to people like me. Don't ever talk to people like me. It's bad for you.
Fitness Grand Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I need to fix that. That's gonna be annoying today.
Fix?
Yeah, hold on.
You mean nerf?
No, he means fixed because he's just spotted there is just one slight typo in it. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, there's not a typo. It was all copied and pasted from the website, so...
I just pressed a fucking button in this game, and now I'm fighting 6 monstrels. Anyway, back to not being talkative.
That is actually a very good question. I'll have to see if there is actually a Binding of Isaacs model pack on Gary's mod for that. Speaking of which, before we start, something I want to point out. When I was doing the edits to last week's video, I had to use Mr. Rhyme for chills because of the whole number 15 thing. What gets released a couple of days after I start editing that? Smiling Friends pack with Chills' character from that thing. I quite literally could have had a Chills model if I'd just waited a couple of days.
That's funny.
Anyway. Yeah. Give me a sec. I tried to talk, and nothing wanted to come out.
This is eating at the moment's weird because my dentist popped one of my fillings out.
Oof.
Lovely. I mean, at least now you know how bad it was when I had my 2 upper ones removed, and I was like, I can't eat proper, and I have to have my dentures out for several days. It's not fun. So, last time, you went through the Academy Gardens. You had a few interesting encounters, which I'm pretty sure I marked on here, so I know which ones they were. What did you do? You fought some odd little leech monsters. You found a rock doggo.
Aye.
You found a sentinel who's been living on this island for quite some time. You found an odd giant plant creature. You encountered Callista, who tried to get you all to, turn on whoever may have betrayed you at some point during your lives. And Kuiper had an encounter with the spirit of a Lunari spirit, who then promptly got kidnapped by Fresh before she could reveal anything. But you were all told to head to the Grove, because that's where the Keeper was, essentially, like the caretaker of the island. So even though there was 2 areas that you could go to the left and to the right, I believe you all decided to just rush forward.
So.
It does mean, though, that I can now do this quickly. And reveal
That is because of my pills. I don't really remember much from last time.
Reveal that those 2 other areas, the one to the left is the Stone Lake Repository. The one to the right was called the Vault of Giants. I'm just marking them there because, they're available to travel to when you want to. But you are heading to the Grove up ahead. And as you're doing so, you leave behind the nicely placed pathways and walls of the gardens, but the plant life seems to remain and starts to become more overgrown and more wild as you carry on. Almost as if it's taking on a life of its own, creating natural walls and gates. Oh, so fuck, I forgot to put an end stamp to that. 3 minutes, I guess, all the shit's ended.
Waffleberg! Oops, sorry.
Waffleberg!
What just happened?
Waffleberg doesn't know. Waffleberg heard Alari say something, or Delris. Waffleberg doesn't remember. Waffleberg was just going to state that this place is giving Waffleberg strong Veraza vibes.
Don't mind me, I was just shitposting.
Oh, okay.
So, wait, you're a shitposting? Terrible. That's mine and Zach's job. In your games.
Waffleberg's existence is a fucking shitpost.
So, let's move you a bit more along this way. Let's see. This would help if I also brought up a certain image just to help me keep track of shit. Because at this point, the order of which things are kind of gets a bit screwy. And I'm
Devin.
pretty sure
Back.
that I made something. God damn it. I heard you starting with that. Rats so long as rats. So what was that one there? Really? No, yeah, no. My eyes are not deceived. So, y'all can make me a perception.
do, 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 do. Perception. Yeah.
Waffleberg sees nothing.
Wow. Elris actually rolling like she has high wisdom for once.
So all of these perceptions are coming through. Dion, do
Yeah.
you know that bird and blend thing in Manchester?
Yeah.
They're doing a tea at the moment where basically it turns pink as it brews.
Yeah.
And it's like got little hearts stuff in it. It's like, it looks cool. I want some. Apparently it tastes like strawberries.
Cool.
So, Kuiper and Lyra, no. Delris and Mariah, yes. Waffleberg, no. Alekxander, don't know, he's not in Roll20.
Waffleberg sees the universe.
Really, because
Jack?
I'm assuming that Jack's still finishing off his run.
Probably.
Also, his mic's probably still up.
Probably.
Because I know he said that before we started. We'll say Alexander's a bit too determined and just rushing on ahead. So,
Doesn't stop me from
Which
shouting
he
at.
absolutely was.
yeah. Mariah and Delris.
Yes.
Just in an opening to the right, through some thickets and some bushes, you see down below what seems to be a large, open expanse with what seems to be an odd building in the distance. And then you realise, as you focus more on it, it's a graveyard. I have done the wrong thing, that's conceal. Why does it like reveal areas? No, you mean conceal? No, I mean reveal.
Just like,
Dead people. Which isn't surprising for a place like this.
Should Waffleberg be concerned that he can see dead people?
I mean, we see dead people all the time.
That's
Yes.
fair.
But the ones Waffleberg sees are in his mind.
So,
because I pretty much see these guys.
given that he got the lowest perception, Waffleberg roll me a d20.
Okay.
That's
You know,
actually-
Waffleberg's a Kim Baron, so this is also a thing. No wonder Zon's fucked up.
That's actually a decent roll.
Oh. I mean, if it's perception, that's also with a.
It's not a
plus
perception.
3.
It was just a flat. It was just a flat d20. It's
Alrighty.
it's the
okay.
encounter table.
Okay. Holy shit! When the fuck did you get here?
What? Boop. Just disappears.
So
No,
I was
really.
never
When did
here.
you get here? I didn't even hear you join the Discord
I
chat.
was here before you.
Where
I
are
just-
you?
You were away.
I was AFK'd.
Oh, I
Fair.
was AFK'd. Okay, cool.
for sure. Just wandering behind Kuiper and Alekxander as they both barreled off. You feel a slight chill, as if something's watching you. I'm hearing myself come over someone's microphone. That was weird. I don't like hearing myself have double.
Can
Threw me
you
off.
still hear it?
No, not anymore.
Nope.
Okay.
It threw me off enough when Rebecca was down at our house and it were coming through hers as well. Or
It
she would come through mine.
might have been mine.
Okay,
I might have had a feedback issue there.
so you feel something just watching you as you move. Just like a gaze from the bushes.
Can Waffleberg roll perception or
Yes, he can.
investigation? Or is it cool?
Well, it depends. Which are you wanting to do?
We're just gonna go with a perception.
Okay.
Despite the fact that I have a higher score in investigation, it makes no sense that I'd be investigating what's looking at me. That's a dirty 20 because it's plus 3.
Okay. So as you're just stopping, just taking the time to look around, you think you see something white dart through some of the brushes.
Hold, wait, don't run!
At this point, Silveen is just staring at Waffleberg, like, what?
Not talking to you! Waffleberg's gonna run after it.
Okay. So as you're... I'd say Mariah and Delris, you have been behind Waffleberg, given the other two barreled on ahead, and you two stopped to look at the graveyard. You see Waffleberg just stop, look around, and then just kind of dive into some of the brushes to chase after.
I was like, Waffleberg!
Waffleberg sees something!
Don't run off alone after it!
What's the worst that could happen?
Lots of bad things can happen!
Ultra Great's
It's-
dead.
It's
Yeah.
me! What? If anything, I'm the bad thing that could happen!
It doubles back and runs between your legs quickly.
Can Waffleberg get a good look at it while it runs between the legs?
You can roll me a perception with disadvantage, given it's going fast and it's so small. I'm gonna say roughly that.
That is a 17 and a 18 with disadvantage is a 17.
Small, white. Some parts of it seem to be quite fluttery, but at the same time, seems synthetic.
Synthetic?
Yes. As if the part that was fluttering isn't a natural part of whatever this thing was.
Waffleberg's gonna try and grab it with his mechanical arm.
Okay. Roll me a athletics, and I will roll a acrobatics.
In athletics, Oh, yeah, no, Waffleberg won't be able to beat that. The highest you'll get with that is a 16.
Can I peek into the bushes and just like see what's going on? Because I have no clue at this point. He just like was like and then just ran off into the bushes.
Yeah, Delris would have gone over,
Okay,
see if she could see him.
so Delris, Delris and Silveen, you two are looking through the bushes. Mariah, are you also looking through the bushes? Rebecca,
Mariah.
I think she might have gone BRB. Alekxander has gone BRB.
She's just standing next to us,
Delris,
combing her hair.
as you're just looking through, something quickly pops up into frame right in front of your face. The
Huh?
What does this little thing?
It looks like
Silveen's eyes light up.
I'm
with
picking it up.
so much joy.
Literally, Delris picks it up immediately.
ignore the ghost in the
And
background. The ghost in the background isn't there.
just literally picks it up immediately and hugs it.
If Delris looks to Silveen and the others, like she's just gonna see Silveen's eyes actually glistening.
He's like, "Oh, you're so cute."
Everyone that looks over, you will see Delris just kind of pluck what seems to be a Poro wearing a bedsheet out of the bushes.
And just hugs
If she
it.
has found another cute thing to waste more of our time with, I'm going to stab it. Kuiper, you go check.
He's like, "You're adorable."
Never mind, I can fucking hear it. Right, well, you all do that. Alexander's gonna go and save the fucking spirit that's currently been whisked away, okay? I'm glad we all have priorities here. And Alexander will walk off.
It's like, Waffleberg jumped into a box trying to. This guy jumped out. Just holds him up.
What is
Alexander
it?
neither looks nor listens.
It is if I remember,
He's a Poro.
kind of.
Kuiper looks really displeased. Just stood there like,
Why is it a Poro? When I ran after it, I thought it was something more important. Why is it a Poro? Another Poro?
We have
Not
to have
again.
all of the Poros.
I'm just walking after Kuiper, giving it tickles.
fucking again.
No.
I don't need the new champion to turn the party against themselves. All I need to do is throw a Poro in the middle, apparently.
Into the abyss with you.
Oh,
I
God.
just cut. No. Delris is holding it and is not letting me take it, and she's walking with it.
I'm sorry, I just saw that then, and now I can't. The Infinity Poros.
Fluff to Poro. We'll have enough Poros eventually. We'll just combine them into a ball and be like, get them! Then
Oh,
Yeet the Poro will have an advantage because
So let
it'll
me-
be more Poros.
Let it be known, Moonman, that when Waffleberg stopped to chase after the thing, he did not think it would be this thing. He thought it would be something else. Waffleberg was gonna blow something up. Waffleberg can still do that. There's a building nearby, right? Which way did Waffleberg run off to? Yeah, there's a building nearby. I'm gonna go blow it up.
Delris is still fawning over this little thing while walking after the others, just like
it is actually
Giving
trying
it-
to.
blow it up quietly.
It is actually trying to squirm to get out your grasp, just like.
Oh, it's okay.
Excuse me.
Pops over Delris' shoulder. Is it really, though?
Yeah. I won't let anything happen to this little guy.
Can I hold
Delris,
It's so cute.
Delris,
Yeah.
make me an athletics check. He's going to try and squirm out your grasp.
Ah.
With advantage if it decides to leave the blanket behind.
It's just they're like, me.
No.
Not once. Peep. Trips on its own blanket trying to get out.
So, is it carrying
Giving
on
it-
with Delris just making these kind of noises?
You're so cute.
Kuiper and Alekxander, you two
Everyone
have
and then myself.
Kuiper and Alekxander, you two have carried on ahead. We're despite the fact that not much light was happening on this island anyway, due to the mist blocking out the sun, it seems to be getting darker as you walk through what seems to be a naturally made tunnel from the trees. There is actually a name for that term, and I can't remember what it is. Where like the trees form and just become like a natural tunnel.
I have no idea. Alexander has to admit that he hasn't brought with him a source of light, so I hope you
I
have.
have.
Just Delris holding it, just like, I can do that.
Well, you can if you put the fucking power down!
And she can't do that. Sylvia's just
Walking!
gonna cast dancing lights around them
Okay.
and just kind of like rotate around herself as she just like floats along next to
It's
Delris.
like, I'm still walking. What's the issue?
Just. We are on an island full of death, sorrow, lost friends, and broken everything, and you have found a cute Poro. I cannot explain to you how much this frustrates me, can I?
Kuiper will cast light on his cloak.
Problem. He's cute. He shouldn't have to live here.
We are here to fix the end of the fucking world scenario that is coming out of this island, and you are fawning over a fucking sentient snowball!
It is at this point that Waffleberg is just gonna take out a little Heimerdinger doll. He's gonna twist the neck and it's gonna glow like a fucking glow stick.
Oh my god. So I would just like to take
And
this
that's-
moment that
that's his
Waffleberg,
extent of it.
Kuiper, and Silveen are all now dazzling.
Yes.
So
Because Kuiper made his cloak light up. Silveen just cast 4 little lanterns around her, and Waffleberg like cracked a neck, and it just lights up like a flashlight.
okay.
Yeah,
We've got
it's
this,
part of his
guys.
magical tinkering.
And Delris has fire.
Yes, but you're holding a Poro. What are you gonna do? Light the Poro on fire?
No.
We've got enough lights.
No, her hand just lights on fire.
Oh.
Her hand lights on fire. Unfortunately, it takes 2 hands to carry the Poro.
Wait a second.
Hmm?
Why do I need light? Can I see in the dark?
Oh, I know I can. I definitely can. I have no problems with that. I was just doing this for everybody else.
Oh, no,
must
Waffleberg
confess
can't
that
see
he
in the
cannot
dark.
see in the dark, and Alexander also has no spells to deal with seeing in the dark. Alexander's a little
Here, hold
Alexander
on.
did not have the foresight for this.
Hold on,
We will
Alexander.
confess.
Do you want a Volleybear glow stick?
You can make that.
Yes. I mean, what else am I going to use magical tinkering for? A Whopper? I'm not allowed to use those anymore.
And so did Waffleberg. Listen to reason.
Since he realized that Whoppers are kind of broken and might destroy 95% of the encounters in this game. So Waffleberg's gonna take out a little Volleybear glow stick and snap the neck of it and give it to
It just gets to the
Alexander.
it just gets to the canon ending of the Sentinels of Light event. They're just about to banish Viego and just whopper! Viego's vanished.
Yeah. So sometimes
Alright.
you have to acknowledge that there's certain things you shouldn't do.
Alright, come on. I want to find out where that spirit went. It was pleasant. The only thing I found on this island has made me feel that way.
It got dragged away by Thresh.
Yes, that's why I'm off to stab Fresh.
Yeah,
do,
that's
do you not
That's-
understand my MO?
But first, we gotta go see the caretaker.
Yes. Despite the fact that yeah. So you carry on through this tunnel. As you're carrying on through, just keeping a wary eye out just to make sure you're not going to be sneaked up on again. Given I've already made Waffleberg roll one, who wants to roll this 20?
I'll do it.
I'll roll. Okay.
Shut down. Good job. I pressed just D20.
14. Okay. And as you're all scrolling through. Scrolling through?
Yes. We've got phones now.
As you're all scrolling through Facebook as we're going through this. As you're all making your way through this tunnel. There just seems to be like a bit of a... The ground's uneven, as you'd expect from a non-pathway place. Excuse you.
Excuse me.
And as you're going through, Kuiper, your feet get trapped on a vine. Make me a dex check. A dex save.
Do not ask Kuiper to dex save. Oh my goodness.
Do not ask him to dex save, he will pass. So you manage to catch your footing and try and pull your foot out to the vine. But you realise the vines are kind of creeping up your leg.
Careful around. Oh god, it's still coming.
Alright. Which one of these would cleave through a head?
He gets his like moon dagger out.
Okay.
Wait, what's going on?
Basically, you've seen
Oh,
Kuiper almost get tripped up, and the vines are just crawling up his leg.
He's gonna start slashing out with his dagger at these.
Make me an attack roll with it. That actually would hit, yes. Okay. It just seems to reel back slightly. The vines just kind of let go. And a face rises up from the mound.
Alekxander is ready to stab it. But, I mean, might be friendly. Things are weird around here.
I believe I don't have a picture of this saved on here, and it's not a thingy monster. It's not a
Not a thingy monster.
No.
Give me a sec. Because it's not a creature from League. This is something I've actually had to look up from Astro D&D. Shock horror.
Is it a vine blight?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I have pictures of vine blights. I use them in my campaigns a lot. They're fun.
There we go. I've just uploaded a picture to it there, so I can just drag it on. This is the creature you say raise itself out of the ground.
Oh, good.
Oh goodness.
Oh.
Alright. What are you, or what do you want?
Silveen's just gonna turn to Delris. You said fire?
Can it talk?
That
Go
is
on,
actually what
don't
I'm
leave me
looking up to
hanging.
see if it mentions anything about languages, but it doesn't. So it looks
Shambling
like it won't.
Shambling mounds cannot talk.
So it does not respond. It just kind of tilts.
I can't burn it.
Can it understand?
I'll hold the Poro if you light it on fire.
Well, wait, it's got Moon Man.
No.
No, he
I'm
got
fine.
away. He got away.
Oh, you got away? Wow, Waffleberg's behind by like 2 steps. Everybody just ignore me for the meantime.
Alekxander is just gonna get in this thing's face and just fucking stir it down like, what do you want?
You try to stir it down, and you realise it's a one-way stirring contest as this thing has no eyes. In fact,
It doesn't matter. I stir what I assume is a face.
Yeah, it seems to have a clearly defined-ish face, just no eyes. It seems to be feeling
Like
around
that,
with its vines to get a
Move.
layout of the area.
Takes a slight sidestep.
Yeah, Silveen's just going to take
I give
the
you the Poro.
yeah, and she's just gonna all strength, like not like hug it to death, but like hold it and make sure that she's holding it in a way that it can't just easily slip out.
That doesn't make sense to me, this, but sure, we'll carry on with this. Just something that's actually on this thing sheet.
I'm going to step forward a bit, and then I'm going to Burning Hands it.
Okay. What did you... That misses. Oh, no, wait. It's on me
On
to
attack.
make a thing.
It needs a dex save. The
Yeah.
way it moves on the floor. It needs a dex save.
So it's a -1.
Something.
4.
That fails.
It fails. So you watch as these flames try to take hold and engulf this creature. But
Waffleberg was going to mention something, and then he forgot to mention it. Waffleberg knew this bitch back in the zone. A little bit of a fun fact: living vines actually don't burn.
Yep. You
It's
actually
only dead ones that burn.
Yep.
Whoopsies.
My intelligence is Alari now.
You see,
Waffleberg should have mentioned that earlier.
you see the flames. Not really affect it too much. There is still some burn damage there, but not as much.
just the hair and eyes turn blue. It's like, the
AK,
fuck is that thing?
AKA
Alright,
flames.
Alari, we should move while it's slow.
Swing! I mean, what did you expect?
That is fair.
Silveen's gonna look at the Poro.
Hang on, just gotta update my fucking weapons to do the same fancy shit the other one does now.
I also now
And
need to
she's-
take into account this, so that's 8 plus 5.
She is going to promise the Poro snacks and all of the people that he can scare, and she will help him as long as he doesn't run away from her. He lets her know that she is a ghost, and so
Holy
that she can help
fucking
everybody
shit.
else.
I'm
Whoa.
going to beat the fucking shit out of your plant lay.
Jesus.
18, 28, 29, 35, 41 damage.
Fuck me. I mean, please don't. Not with the plants, anyway.
It still seems to be up, and it's... Now it's quite literally just blindly swinging its giant trunk-like arms out, as it's been
Like-
hit from several ways.
Fair enough. Anyway. Okay, well, technically I have extra attacks, so...
Just Alari out of the way because she was within 15 feet of this thing.
Yeah, that's what it's on. I am keeping track of its health, by the way, as you're doing this, just to make sure. But now it is quite literally swinging around.
Follows
It
up with
is-
a swing and then has to take a moment to catch his breath, like... Oh, that was hard to cut through.
And it is going to... Given who was nearby it has 3 targets.
Ah, shit.
So, 1, 2, and 3.
Come on. I'm almost actively mocking it by taking a rest in front of it. Come at me, bro.
It is going to make both attacks on Alekxander.
Yeah.
Was it that one or was it 17? With that one, make an attack of opportunity on it.
Alright!
Yeah.
That one.
Right, my phone just got business as if someone messaged me. It wasn't my phone.
That was your mistake, well. Perhaps we have not been properly introduced, Plant. The first thing you should know about me is that in another life, I'd have made a fucking excellent hedge trimmer.
And the 17,
Literally.
the 17 misses, I'm guessing.
Just hits.
Oh,
That's a lot of misses.
I am a Barbie. Barbies don't do all the AC, we do all the squishy.
that is fair. I mean, you say that, but on Wednesday's game, my Barbarian has an AC of 25.
And we don't talk about it.
Weird.
Are we going to initiative, or can I cast a spell at it?
I'm gonna say everyone's gonna have a free round on this thing, aside from those that have already attacked. So you've attacked, Kuiper technically attacked to get out, and Alekxander's obviously had his. So take 13, Alekxander, and Waffleberg, Mariah, and Silveen can get a free hit.
Okay.
Oh my god, you're actually here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Silveen's
finishing
gonna
off the
bargain.
next boss battle Pokemon, that's why I've been quiet.
Well, it's official, Rebecca's ahead of us all now.
Hehehe.
That wasn't hard, I weren't trying.
Silveen's gonna bargain with the little Poro and promise to help him scare people and give him snacks and other things if he doesn't run away and becomes her friend.
Make me an animal handling. As soon as you put down the Poro, it sprints off.
Well, you know, some things just aren't meant to be.
So, Mariah, you can get an attack. Waffleberg, you can get attacks. Oh,
God damn it.
Oh.
It is ranged, so luckily.
It is indeed ranged, and I was checking
Yeah.
to see if this thing. Yep, it's only 5-foot reach.
A sniper-like gun. So a sniper.
It's sniper-like.
So an actual
So a
shotgun
sniper.
instead of video game shotguns, because shotguns are used at ranged in real life to hunt ducks.
Yeah.
It's a shotgun with a scope
You know,
on it.
I was trying to work
People
out.
do that.
I was
People do that.
I was trying to work out how best to negate to solve this issue, given that it is a ranged weapon that did nat 1, so it can't exactly hit you.
Guns jam on that once in D&D.
I'm not going to do the thing of roll to see if you shoot one of your friends like Jamie does. Instead, I'm gonna.
That would be kind of funny, though.
Yes,
gonna
just Jamie.
I'm gonna do something here. And Dion will instantly recognize what this is going to be. Roll me a 1d6.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh yes, you'd recognize this as well. A
For being
5.
prepared to be shot in the eye by a ghost bird.
Odds and evens.
That makes no sense for this one. It's what? I think someone. We need to have a word with David about the fumble chart of doom. Number 5 is harm yourself 1d6 rounds. I think it means harm yourself for 1d6. Because hitting yourself for 6 rounds is not a fun thing. So
You just miss and the recoil just goes.
pretty much, you just try to aim, but given the dampness of this area, you could just kind of moves backwards in your hands and just smacks you in the face for 4 damage.
Fun.
Waffleberg, you can get an attack.
Waffleberg will do that. We'll see how this goes. Waffleberg actually hasn't tried this yet, so. Yeah, no.
Oh dear.
Waffleberg's arm reconfigures as he holds it out, as it kind of forms a fucking laser thing with a shimmering crystal at his shoulder, as it just starts to spew out acid before fucking wire shock, and he fires off in the distance away from the shambling mound. Ha!
Yeah, again,
Wow.
Yeah, again, 1d6. Let's see what happens. I don't know why I've decided to adopt the fumble choice of Doom when it's ranged attacks. That one, but it's
I don't
funny.
think Chromatic Orb has a...
That's not a nat one though.
Is it not? It's a...
No.
No, that's not a nat one. There's no bonus to it.
Ah. It's just like they
That's
say
not
1
nat
plus
one.
7 equals 8 plus red 0. That's not like the nat 1, ain't it?
No, wait, you're right. There is a nat one. There is a nat one. I was looking at something else. I apologize. I was
That's
looking at
okay.
the damage. You're right. There is a nat one. I mean, this is also a spell, though, so...
Yeah. So 1d6. Let's see what happens. Just means that anything... Then again, you used it from your arm, but if it's a spell... It's fine. 1d6. We can work it out when we see what the number is.
I mean, Artificer flavoring. I don't care.
Yeah.
It'll be more fun.
Exactly.
Pin shoots out of
Where's
arm.
the damage plus? Oh, yeah, that's what the damage is.
So it's just a flat 1d6.
Is it just flat 1d6?
Yeah, because this is for the fumble chart of Doom.
Are you rolling or am I rolling?
You're rolling.
Oh, okay.
You decide your own fate, Austin.
Exactly.
Well, I just saw that you rolled earlier. That's why I was like, wait.
Oh
am
no, I
rolling
rolled
or
that
you?
1d6 for damage for Rebecca because she rolled a 5 on hers.
Oh, okay.
What did you roll? A 3?
3.
Yeah.
Some of the acid splashes back on you. You actually hit yourself.
Pardon.
Which again doesn't make sense for that because it's like harm yourself 1d6 rounds, but that's 1d6 damage. So how is one hitting yourself more damage than that? I don't know.
I mean, I guess it depends on what the roll would have
Yeah.
been for damage,
Screw,
but
screw the fumble try to do. That doesn't make sense in that one. So never mind. It just fires off in the distance. There's a little bit of sizzling on your arm. There's some acid lands on it. But yeah. And what's this, Silveen? Okay, it needs to
I'm
make a con
sorry,
save.
Alexander.
Oh. Oh.
Because Alexander's within 5 feet, or within 10 feet.
Yeah.
Everybody else has backed up further than that.
No, they have not.
Oh.
Kuiper and Alari are also within that range.
I
Dear.
thought Alari backed up to 15 feet.
Went within 15 foot of it to do the burning hands.
Fine,
But
Alexander's
then
just gonna...
Sorry.
Just
Oh,
go
so
brush
yeah,
it
you
off.
wouldn't be in there then.
Okay.
Because it's 10-foot radius around the centered on the creature. It should just kind of like cough and points out her finger.
16 is a meet and beat there.
Meet and beat.
Kuiper, would you like to also make me the con save?
Nah, I think I'm good. One moment.
What? You're just gonna take this? Oh, seriously?
Wow, everyone passes. So 5 damage. I should wait, hang on.
Ah.
Yes, 5 damage.
Yeah.
And now we would go into the initiatives. I know Waffleberg already rolled. Given we're not on a battle map, this is an issue.
Like scribbled on the numbers, my dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do.
Yeah, you scribble on numbers.
I'm going to do it on the timestamps. So we have a 16, a 14, an 11. What did Waffleberg get all that time back?
15.
A 15. Whose are we missing?
Rebecca.
A 13. Still feels like we're missing someone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, that's 6 of us, because you create 7. If you're looking at the names on the bottom of the screen. There's
Kuiper
only
hasn't
6
rolled
of us here.
initiative.
No.
Oh, I haven't. Sorry.
Oh, he hasn't.
Well out of it. Let me just drown myself on a random spot.
16, 15, 14, 13,
Kuiper goes
What?
first.
11,
Octopus.
19. So, Kuiper. The 16 was Silveen.
Yep.
The 15 was Waffle. 14 was Alekxander. 13 was Mariah. 11 was Alari. And I've yet to roll for this thing. It gets -1. Also 11, but given it's got a lower thing than Alari, it will be going last. So, Kuiper,
Yep.
it is you. So I don't need to
It's
turn order
me.
for this. Like that. It's me. Wah, wah,
Wow.
Silence, but occasionally broken up by wah.
So, I don't know. Are we looking like we actually want to fight this thing, or?
I mean, we've already been fighting it.
We just need to end it.
Yeah, Alexander looks like he's absolutely ready to have a scrap with this motherfucker.
Okay.
And I am probably going to be of no help here.
Do, 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 do.
So,
No, decompose usually works on corpses, but would it work on this thing?
pop up the spell, let's see what it says. This isn't a corpse.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Actually, if anything, this spell will make it bigger.
That is true. Actually, I'm going to have you roll me a nature check or an arcana check, whichever one you want, just to see about that.
I got it then.
Why's it called hat decompose?
Because it came from my hat.
Fair. But yes, you'd know that using the spell on this may just make it bigger and stronger.
Just starts casting like, wait, no. Okay. Well, instead.
But it's fine if I change
Oh.
the element of it.
How long have we been here?
On the island itself.
On the island, yeah.
Since the start of today, coming up to this, I'd say it's probably late afternoon at the moment.
Okay. Cool. I will instead use Sacred Flame. Lamau.
Okay.
I'll need a dex save.
Here we go again with his -1.
That is just a pass.
Another 16. Bastard.
And he will carry on backing away.
Okay.
That's me.
Next up would be Silveen.
And I can't do what I did last time. I didn't think about that until after I had cast. Yep. It's gonna pass. She's just gonna. Yep. Absolutely nothing I can do without hurting somebody else.
Oh shit. While
She's
you're
already
working,
hurt. She already feels bad about that. So
While you're working that out, deal. Just saw something pop up on my Facebook then.
You're like,
A geek retreat's opening up in Manchester.
Cool.
So, is that your turn done? You're just holding an action or holding back?
yeah, she can't. It's like she already feels bad about hurting somebody, and she knows that any of her spells are just gonna hurt everybody else.
Okay. Waffleberg,
Yes,
it is your turn.
it is Waffleberg's turn. Waffleberg needs to look something up real fast and see if he knows how to use this properly.
Okay. While you're doing that, I just feel like I need to point it out. I know he's technically being suffocated, but at the same time, it looks like he's just waving and saying hi. This is what it feels like to be absorbed by Mariah's hair.
Luigi.
No.
Yes,
Maybe.
possibly.
Perhaps.
Mayhaps. Alrighty. That wouldn't have worked how I would want it to, because the creature can't see, correct?
It cannot.
Does it have, beyond touch, does it have any other senses?
Not that you're aware of.
So it's just using its touch to feel around.
From what you can assume, yes. I know on the sheet itself it says it has blind sight, but
That
I'm
blind sight is touch.
Yeah.
Essentially.
hello.
Okay. Well, I mean, we might as well try it.
there we go.
Waffleberg is going to go ahead and he is going to take from his pouch a very special bullet marked with his company insignia, which is just a giant W. He's gonna put it in ricochet, and he's going to fire using a ammo of whoppering, which is thematically yay, but it's also one of his artificer thingamadoohas. So first we're gonna see if he can actually fucking hit the thing.
Sorry, Sophie just cut me out. No.
No. Cool. That's okay. That's fine. Wilhelm's gonna do the same thing then.
Okay. No.
Wilhelm's not doing that. What is... Okay, hold on. Let me...
I think you rolled your own dice look today.
I think I did. Let me just reload both.
Well, I have got to go so I can get to work. So
Okay.
Alrighty,
you guys
bye.
have a good one.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Have a good day.
Jesus. There's the 20.
Yeah, there's the 20. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that's it.
Alekxander.
It's a me. It's a me. Mana.
A miss and a hit for 16
God.
damage.
That is some poor damage from Alexander.
Yep, it's still up, but my god, it's just about holding itself together.
Oh, okay. Maybe that sonic spell affected Alexander more than Alexander thought it did. Alexander does sometimes have to put on brave face when you cast spells.
Mariah, would you like to take both your shots?
Yes.
That way you can be fully vaccinated.
Woo!
A miss and a hit for 18 damage.
At least it wasn't a nat one.
Again. That's an interesting thing as well. Like, do you know, like I said, I got the job centre on Friday. Guess what else is coming around on Friday?
What?
The vaccination bus in the afternoon as well.
Vaccine bus.
I don't know if they do boosters in the vaccine bus, I'm assuming so, but at the same time, it's like, do I go to the job centre first and hope it's still the right time I get back? Do I go to the job centre with a dead arm? So, who is it next? It is Alari.
Cool. Big thing. Do we have like can we tell if this thing's beat up already or not?
As I said, it's barely holding itself together at this point.
Okay, then there's no point in me using that spell. But I am going to magic a missile.
Okay.
Where is it? I have a very long list of things that do damage. Wait, does it roll them all at once? I don't actually know. No, it doesn't. I don't actually remember how many darts.
It doesn't matter with the first time you killed it.
Oh, okay.
So, sure, just unloading into this thing before it has a chance to swing its arms again. Alari just peppers it with a few magic missiles and it just crumbles. You see, like, the constituent parts of it, like the vines and such, still twitching underneath, as if they've still got some life. But you feel like the threat's been neutralized. Even if it was a threat to begin with.
Alright. Less distractions now, eh? At least the Poro fucked off.
At least the power fucked off. Slowly raises head from Mariah's her shifty eyes. Ducks down. No, it's fucked off. So, you carry on through the tunnel. Yeah, again, I'll keep hearing like a buzz. Oh, that one was my phone this time. And eventually, you make it out the tunnel to what seems to be a large clearing. Just as if the trees themselves are avoiding the area. With the exception of one giant tree in the middle. Just sprouting up, splitting, well, two trees, should I say. Basically, the two trees that it looks like here, where they seem to curve away from each other and then meet back up at the top in like an odd pronged design. And you do indeed see 3 other roads going from this place. One of which, Mariah and Alari, you can determine probably goes back to that graveyard you saw earlier.
whatever that was, let's just not go that way. Delris said something about a graveyard.
Oh yeah, it was Delris that saw it. And yeah, that was me forgetting.
Also something about a Poro, but
Anger Poro noises. But yes, you feel like you have arrived at the grove.
This looks like a place.
Alright. Now what? Alexander doesn't know what to do with trees.
Indeed, it seems like just by looking around, well, just by a quick glance around, doesn't seem to be too much life around here.
like, what were we here for? Anyone want to fill me in? I haven't been active for a while.
I believe we are here to talk to some man who lives with the creatures and the plants around here. Alexander has had many things distracting him, admittedly.
Okay. Hello? Is anyone here?
Waffleberg zoned out. Where are we?
You're in the grove. You stepped into the grove.
How did we get here?
Is anyone present?
Wait, hold on. Waffleberg has the Waffleberg's going to pull out the box of noises from his pouch. He's gonna push the button, and just it's gonna boom out lots of noises with a booming hello that just echoes every 5 seconds.
Oh,
no.
good. Fun. Guess what? I'm
Also,
rolling
there's
the D20
fireworks.
this time. Oh. I'm rolling the D20 this time. Gets an at 20. Okay. As you set this thing off, if you set your little noise box off, just letting it echo through the grove itself, you hear a creaking from above.
Look up.
As you look up, you see what seems to be a large crate held up by some vines. And the vines are loosening from this loud, cacophonous of noise.
Everyone move! Now! Move out the way!
Oh, okay.
Alexander
Why
takes
is
like
Waffleberg
2 steps.
moving?
Alexander takes the minimal quantity of steps back.
Okay, with that fair warning, I'm not going to make any of you roll me dex saves. Silveen probably just stays put as it just lands and Silveen just kind of floats through it.
Yes, I suppose that makes sense. Alright.
So, now comes the interesting part. As there is now what seems to be a large, sturdy crate in front of you all.
Crate.
Seems to have logos on it that Mariah you would recognize to be bilgewater in nature.
Alexander will immediately start
Oh.
going about cracking this bad boy open.
Okay.
Probably in a relatively crude manner for the box, but not crude for what's inside.
Just make me a strength check.
Oh boy.
Okay. Yep. You just manage to just wedge your blade in between some of the planks and just pry it open. But by pry it open, I mean you probably just do that and then pull upwards as fast as you can
If
to
I
smash
open
it.
this thing and there is a fucking Poro inside, I swear on my mother's life.
You see Vex inside.
You shitting me or?
I'm shitting you. She
Oh.
won't
God
be in
damn
a
it.
box.
God damn it, I got excited.
Instead, you see various items inside.
There's quite a hoard in here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 others. 6, 7. Sorry, mine just went then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8. I'm going to roll 9 items on here, so including Silveen, Potoo, and the other 2 that you left back, including Umpa. We'll all get 1 item from this. Let us see
Alright.
what is gained. There is. The fuck is that? Oh. You see what's the first item that is pulled out seems to be some kind of pen.
Alexander has
Uh,
found pen. You want a pen?
Ooh, Ben.
You can roll
you like
me
that.
a investigation on this pen if you wish.
Alexander absolutely thinks it's a pen.
Kuiper. Not only do you sense magic from this pen, you also note that the nib at the end is emerald and requires no ink to write. This is an emerald pen. While holding this pen, you can cast illusory script at will, requiring no material components.
It's just a pen. Hope you don't mind if I keep it.
Which actually works
Does
well
that
for what
exa-
you wanted to do with what you private messaged
Yeah,
me before. So
Exactly.
I
Does
wouldn't mi-
Alexander look like the writing kind to you?
the second item to be pulled out.
Well, Alexander does see that little smirk on your face. I don't think I didn't see that.
Oh, what the fuck is this? Seems to be some kind of crossbow.
Alexander has found one of those shooty guns that aren't a pistol. Does Mariah care for such medieval concepts?
Seems to be fashioned from some kind of metal. And it seems
It's like it's got all the components of a gun, but isn't a gun.
it also seems to be shedding dim light.
Maybe I can use this as a torch. What do you mean that's a terrible use of a magical item? Stop that.
If someone wishes, they can roll an Arcana on this. Oh, you rolled an insight on this thing as well.
No, that was just to see Kuiper being like, no.
Oh, right,
this is
So peeps can roll an Arcana on this crossbow if they wish. Waffleberg will get it. Mariah will get it. Alari just about. Is Kuiper going to be rolling an Arcana on this as well? Okay. This is a Hellfire light repeating crossbow.
Oh.
It's fashioned from infernal iron and traced with veins of hellfire that shed dim light in a 5-foot radius. Any humanoid killed by an attack made with this weapon has its soul funneled into the river Styx, where it is reborn instantly as a Lemure devil. This crossbow is fitted with a cartridge that holds up to 6 crossbow bolts. It automatically reloads after firing until the cartridge runs out of ammo. Reloading the cartridge takes an action, and it's a 2-handed weapon. Essentially put, who wants to make little devils with a crossbow?
So you're all stood in front of me, staring at it very intently. Would one of you actually like it? Especially Waffleberg. Waffleberg's giving me the creeps.
Waffleberg. No.
I don't know how to.
It doesn't explode. There's no bang sound. There's no kaboom. It's just an arrow.
It does seem to be that they've put all of the components of a gun into this, but not given it any of the, well, gun.
Well, here's the other thing. Waffleberg doesn't have to reload his gun. The gun automatically does it for Waffleberg. So, like, Really, the
No.
only cool thing is the fact that if I kill somebody,
Oh.
they turn into a demon. So somebody else want to take this?
This thing turns things into demons? Ugh! I don't want to
This.
touch it no more. And I'll just throw it.
Okay. The next thing you pull out
Kuiper will
is
catch it.
the next thing you pull out is an amulet.
I found jewelry.
You will instantly recognize the symbol of the deity that's on the amulet, Alekxander. It is of the ram, aka Volibear's brother, Orn.
Someone calls to me on a strange level. I think I recognize this.
Yet again, it's a magical thing. Peeps can roll the arcanas if they wish.
I feel like it's justified here.
I would.
Wah.
Internet went down, and I'm currently trying to reconnect it. So
Okay.
Can't work
So
out what.
that's a fail, that's a pass on Kuiper. Kuiper. You'd recognize this to be a +1 amulet of the devout. Requires attunement by a cleric or a paladin. While you wear the holy symbol, you gain a +1 bonus to spell attack rolls and the saving throw DCs of your spells. While you wear it, you can use your channel divinity feature without expending one of the feature's uses. Once this property is used, it can't be used again until the next dawn.
You might like this. It'll make you do the fancy stuff with the sword more.
Alright. Would I know how Volibear would feel about me wearing an amulet of his brother?
Roll me an arcana.
Surely that'd be a religion.
Religion, sorry,
Not that,
yes.
not that it matters, they're both a fucking 0 for me, but I had to point that one out.
Yeah, religion, sorry. You feel that while he may be slightly annoyed at first of you using something of his brother rather than him, using it for purposes of war or to best the enemies in Volibear's name might give him a little bit of a perverse chuckle, like kind of like you're twisting the nature of what Orn made this thing for.
I'd like it if I used it for the purpose the Ram would prefer me to use it for. That's not what it's getting used for.
So that's 3 items so far. 4th item.
Sorry, so just remind me what it does again.
In fact, if I click this, I believe it opens up the... No, it does not. God damn it.
It's gonna call it Ram Necklace. Why not?
That lost everything. Shit. +1 Amulet of the Devout.
Yeah, I suppose I could just look this up, couldn't I?
Yep.
So, a bonus for spell attack rolls and the saving throw DCs of my spells. So +1 to spell and spell DC.
You've got the Emerald Pen, so that's fine, Kuiper. Nobody wanted the crossbow, so that's just going to probably end up being sold.
+1 to
I'll keep hold.
spell.
Okay. Do you need
What
the
did you say
stats?
it does?
What was the Hellfire
+1 to channel divinity.
repeating crossbow? I'm
But it
gonna have to
isn't
scroll for
wrong.
this list to find out what it
I
was
couldn't
now.
find it.
Give me a sec. I have to scroll through these things to try and find it again. Because I found all the things where it says Hellfire, but where was the crossbow? Control F, crossbow. Hellfire. That's Hellfire that, Hellfire that. Firelight. Hellfire. Yeah, I think that was it. The Hellfire Light's repeating crossbow. Which I wish it would just let me have from that thing instead it's tried to open it up in some dumb thing. So, Hellfire Light repeating crossbow. Fiffy. It really does not want to find it. It just wants to find Diablo stuff. So I'm just going to end up
There
stopping
is.
messing.
It's funny
presuming
you should
it's-
bring that up because there actually is a crossbow in Diablo 2 that does exactly the same thing, and I'm not sure if it's a reference or not, but
There we go. I've thrown the text of what it says for it in
Thank you.
the D&D chat, and the pen
All
was
right.
easy enough. So,
what else have we got in here?
fourth
I'm quite
item.
enjoying this.
The fourth item seems to be a Waffleberg. You'll instantly tell what this is. Seems to be a tattoo pen with just about enough ink to make a certain tattoo.
Huh.
And you are
This-
sensing the magical energies from it.
I actually do not even understand what this thing is without its probable magical properties. I just don't recognize it.
So, Waffleberg, if Santa's still here,
No, Waffleberg's here.
you would know that this will allow you to tattoo yourself or someone with the barrier tattoo.
What's the barrier tattoo?
While you aren't wearing armor, this tattoo gives you an armor class of 12 plus your dexterity modifier. You can use a shield and still gain the benefit.
Who's not wearing armor and doesn't have an armored defense?
Alexander is not wearing armor, but well, I suppose my skin is thick, if that's what you mean.
Wait,
Don't wear armor.
You, Waffleberg's taking the pin. Who said me?
Alari.
Okay, I thought it was Mariah, and I was about to say, wait, you're a fucking fighter not wearing armor? What the hell?
Right, wearing chainmail if I recall right.
Yeah. Wait, but aren't you a monk?
Delris is a monk.
Delris is a monk. Okay. I believe this actually takes some time to do, though, I'm going to assume, because it's the process of tattooing. But Waffleberg will keep this in a safe place for later usage, if Waffleberg can remember.
Yeah, it says that you've got to hold the needle to the skin where you want the tattoo to appear, and you've got to hold it there through the attunement process.
Surely you want somebody with a steadier hand to use that.
He's already given me one tattoo.
Do you think
True.
Waffleberg's hand isn't steady?
So that's
He's already
Is
giving a
it, is it
tattoo.
shaking right now?
Waffleberg's only got one hand, and it's a fucking claw!
Oh. Okay.
I has not seen his tattoo. Should I be concerned why Waffleberg put it?
It's on my arm.
The next item.
Yeah,
So it is.
Yeah, it's a masquerade, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I haven't had that one for a while because I changed
I suppose Alexander just hasn't really stopped to look at your arms before.
The fifth item.
They're not as impressive as your sisters.
The fifth item to be pulled out.
He was body.
The fifth item.
Oh. Maybe she just makes them look better by using them. God knows.
The fifth item to be pulled out is a
What is it?
fancy-looking belt made from some kind of hide. People can roll me a nature check to see what hide it is.
Alexander doesn't really have. Well, Alexander's belt is already very comfortable.
Alekxander and Kuiper, you know this to be dragon hide.
Wait just a fucking minute. What's with this? Oh! Oh! This is a dragon hide. Ooh.
Yeah, again, Arcana checks can be made if you want.
I don't know anything about dragons. I've just heard of them. They look cool, I've heard.
Waffleberg. Wow. The difference between the nat ones there. Waffleberg. You know this to
Yes.
be... Oh, hang on, someone else just rolled as well. No, Mariah, no, unfortunately not. It's a fancy looking belt, Mariah. You know this to be a dragon... Well, yes, it's a +1 dragon hide belt. It's for monks. While wearing it, you gain a +1 bonus to the saving throw DCs of your key features. In addition, you can use an action to regain key points equal to a roll of your martial arts die. You can't use this action again until the next dawn.
Okay, first off, Moonman, panicking's my job. Shut the fuck up. He's gonna slap him with a glove. Second off, I caught none of that, but all I heard was it's for monks. So Waffleberg's gonna toss it over to Alari. Give your sister that, and I don't know, tell her it's a fashion trend thing.
Okay. I think she's already wearing a belt, though.
She can wear 2. I mean, you've seen Miss Fortune. She has like 70.
Does her pants fall down that often? Don't answer that, actually. I don't think I want to know how often her pants come down.
I mean, I'm just saying, none of us have had romances with other NPC. No, I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
The next thing.
Waffleberg, I have a wife.
Waffleberg had a wife. She's dead.
The next thing to be pulled out. First, it seems to be some kind of poncho-looking item. But
it's something to go with a belt.
But as you hold it, Alekxander, a pattern takes over it, and it shows the howling tundras of the Freljord and the scene of battle.
I really hope that's where my wife is. Everyone, I found the television. Do I recognize where this battle may be taking place?
The Howling Abyss, aka that giant bridge that you were on where you had to go underneath it.
Actually, Alekxander thinks that this is a lot closer to what he said than he might have been letting on. This is that bridge he was on, no? Yes, I'm sure of it. Imagine my wife. That's where we found the Shanda.
You recognize this? Yep. You recognize this as some of the more religious people in Targon use these as well. This is a Glamour Weave. It's clothing imbued with harmless illusionary magic. While wearing these clothes, you can use a bonus action to create a moving illusionary pattern within the cloth. You can have the pattern rise from the cloth itself.
Just a fucking arrow gets shot at it. It's like when you've put mum in like 3D glasses or something. Just there.
Waffleberg can make a shift weave now that I think about it.
So, when you make a performance or a persuasion check while wearing the weave, you can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to the check. But it can't be used again until the next dawn, once you use that property of it. But you know that the religious people in Targon, they'd usually use these to like help tell their stories or just add a bit of spice to it. Mariah, plenty of these things exist in the in Bandle City, and Yordles pretty much use them for pranks and for fun.
Yeah.
Alekxander's just holding this and slowly applying more pressure with his hand as he gets a little bit madder. Alekxander would much rather be there than here.
So that was.
Why wouldn't I want to be here if he didn't stop
6.
there?
3 more items. Let's see what we get. What the fuck is that?
Alright, what's next? God, if Alekxander has to reach in any further, he's going to fall into crate.
Huh. Okay. You pull out what seems to be a drinking coin.
Oh, Alekxander's keeping this one.
You don't even know.
Alekxander just appreciates a good drinking horn, Delris, Alari, whichever you are again.
Alari.
Sorry, it's hard when my creator isn't very good with names to begin with.
Waffleberg randomly keep poking in his eye towards it like, ah.
Waffleberg's pressing his face against the freaking horn right now, just...
I saw that Kuiper passed it. Sleight of hand. I guess make a... I guess
This is
I guess make a perception, Alekxander. Nat 20 to beat.
I physically can't beat that.
So as you're just going, oh yes, this is nice and that lot, and you get distracted by Kuiper, you just look down and it's gone.
Yeah, it's
Where
just
did that go?
fucking Lyra's in your hands now.
Where did it go? Who took it? Which one of you is more like to steal something?
Kuiper.
Where's the ghost?
When Waffleberg, like, is there anything inside of it?
There is not at the moment, no. Kuiper.
If Waffleberg turns it upside down, does anything come out?
No.
Oh.
Kuiper.
Yep.
Since you passed, you know this to be the slumbering dragon vessel. As a bonus action, if the vessel is empty, you can speak the command word to fill the vessel with one of the following of your choice. Ale, olive oil, a portion of healing, or a portion of climbing.
Holy shit!
Oh my goodness.
Once it is used, it can't be used again until the next dawn. A potion you create in this way loses its magical properties if it isn't drunk within 24 hours.
No, seriously, who took that? Where is it?
Oh, Waffleberg has it. He was just trying to figure out what it was.
He's currently climbing up a wall.
Waffleberg puts
He's
it
very
over in like Kuiper, on top of Kuiper. Moonman has it.
I've never heard of this
Waffleberg.
item before, and it's tasty, and I want one now.
Can I have the horn? It reminds me of home a little bit.
I don't. Lyra, where did you come from?
If we get time to do shopping in tomorrow's game, Dion, remind me about this item. I want to see if the Magic District has one.
Okay. If I remember its name, that is.
Yeah. I might just send myself it as a message later.
We'll just slowly remove horn from Kuiper's head, just like.
Oh,
You hear a ringing
just looks
sound.
up like.
You have picked up the phone. Actually, I said that, and then I just said, like, someone getting a message from the other side of the room. That were weird. Last two items, let's go.
Alekxander will just start attaching it to his belt. He has no idea it has any magical properties.
I want to
Alright, what else?
I want to re-roll this one because it's
Useless or overpowered?
it's basically the crossbow again, but instead of a crossbow, it's a pistol.
People use that, Lamel.
I
We've
know.
got two gun nuts in the party.
I'm going to re-roll it. It's just the Hellfire part that makes me sad. It's like we already have a Hellfire weapon pulled out. God damn it, that's a Hellfire Great Club. There
Oh
we
my
go.
god.
Oh god. What the fuck is this? Give me a sec, I need to read this.
Okay, Alekxander's really scraping the bottom of the barrel now. It's not really a barrel, but
Yeah,
Alekxander doesn't know anyone for
you think
this.
there's only 2 items left? You find
What's this?
you find a backpack.
Alekxander has found a rucksack.
Can I roll an
Alekxander
art?
doesn't
Yes,
really
you-
carry a lot.
yes,
This
you
is lost
can.
on me.
Yes, you can, and I'm sorry, but this is making me laugh my goddamn ass off. I didn't realise this was a thing as well. And I'm sorry, but this is... I'm looking at this, and I already know this is going to go to one of 2 people. This is either going to go to Mariah or Waffleberg.
Kuiper, your eyes tend to work well for this sort of shit. You look at this thing.
Waffleberg.
Waffleberg just fucking sidesteps in the way,
Kuiper.
just like, I think I can help.
Especially Waffleberg, because this does seem to be more built over on Zornish technology. This is a balloon pack. This
Sorry, what?
This backpack contains the spirits of an air elemental and a compact leather balloon. While you're wearing the backpack, you can deploy the balloon as an action and gain the effect of levitate spell for 10 minutes, targeting yourself and requiring no concentration. Alternatively, you can use a reaction to deploy the balloon when you're falling and gain the effect of feather fall. When either spell ends, the balloon slowly deflates as the elemental spirit escapes and returns to the plane of air. So it deflates, you descend gently towards the ground for up to 60 feet. After the spirit departs, the backpack's property is unusable unless the backpack is recharged for 1 hour in an elemental air node, which binds another spirit to the backpack.
Waffleberg, you carry way too many explosives and drugs. Why don't you have this?
Here's the thing. Waffleberg can already fly. He's got a broom of flying. His broom cycle.
Waffleberg, what are you on about? It's a backpack.
I mean, that's true. Waffleberg can... I mean,
Waffleberg's finally lost it.
I mean, Waffleberg's gonna open the backpack. Hello? Are you, hello? Can you hear me?
Help, he's holding the same thing as me and I'm scared.
Hi, is this the, air elemental of the backpack?
Let me just look these up quickly, just to see if it says if there is a language issue here.
Yeah, they speak Primordial.
No, they speak Auran.
Oh, I forgot that. Well, it's Primordial in 50.
This is Fifi as well. This was on D&D Beyond.
I thought they.
Otherwise known as the language of the elemental plane of air.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the Auran is just 1/4 of Primordial, and that's just how that works.
Primordial has four different languages.
But I'm
Auran,
working this.
Infernal, and
I'm going to work this a bit differently. You hear a language come out, Waffleberg.
Oh.
It speaks Saunian to you.
Oh, he's not going insane, although I can't tell what it's saying. Do you want the backpack?
Does make sense. Well, I'm asking it first. Hi, do you want me, or do you probably don't want him? He's a little heavy. We have 2 Yordles. They're pretty light. You want one of them?
Yordles do tend to be easier to elevate.
Which one of you Yordles want some fun time with Jeremy, Bob, Willard, Marina?
It's family. Somebody wants the backpack.
I am assured a distant memory of her of old. So you may call me by her name. You may call me Jana.
Just gonna go and give the back to Mariah.
Okay, Jeremiah. Have fun. This is Mariah. Don't piss her off and you'll do great.
Do you want me to
Mariah, don't pop the balloon.
Do you want me to paste the text of this for you, Rebecca, so that you know what this does?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Alekxander will head back to the crate, reach for the final item, and fall in.
I can't believe that we've made Mariah into the balloon fighter.
Yeah, you were like one of 2 fighters, and I'm like, I can actually already fly with my motor broom.
And now Alekxander is in crate. Okay, what is final item in crate?
Final item in crates was unused by anyone, so let me re-roll that. Okay, this one, however, can be. You found a ring.
Alekxander has found another piece of jewelry.
It's a band of iron, resembles a skull, and is cold to the touch.
Ah, this looks like my wedding ring. It's a little cool, I guess. And I don't just mean because it has a skull on it.
Cold to the touch?
Cold to the touch.
Go almost try an orky boy. Oh my god, Alekxander, you fucking retard.
Oh, another ring. It sure is a ring.
Another ring. Sees the skull. Ah, it is Shadow Owl's ring. Get rid of it.
At this rate, you're going to think it is my wedding ring.
Alari.
Mm?
You've heard about these things as you've been practicing your magic. This is a ring of obscuring. It has 3 charges and regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn. As an action while wearing it, because it requires attunement, you can expend 1 of its charges to cast a fog cloud spell from it, with the following changes of it centered on you when it first appears. It lasts for 1 minute, but no concentration is required.
That's interesting.
It's a little
Give it.
cool. Oh, you would like it? Ah, well, here you go. What does it do?
It's a ring of obscuring, basically.
Ah, that does not sound like it is Alexander's cup of tea anyway.
But you can spend a charge of it to cast Fog Cloud.
Also, I think it's 2 ring sizes below Alexander's.
Fog Cloud allows you to be obscured from vision.
I know,
So-
I know that.
I
that
know
was-
how fog works.
I know that was more a thing of, yes, Alari's fingers are probably thin. But now just imagine like Alexander just has these fat sausage fingers.
Oh, Alexander absolutely has fat sausage fingers. Yes.
But yes, that seems to be all the items.
My wedding ring is still in my pocket. I just swore I wouldn't wear it until I found my wife. Which I just, I'd like to do, so now that we're out of items, shall we continue with our, mild crusade through an island? There is a woman to be saved, remember. The dead one, yes, but...
Speak to a caretaker here.
Oh, right, yes, for God's sake. Caretaker!
Well,
Papa?
I now need to roll a D2 for this because even though there is a scripted event with the thing, there is also something on on this encounter list that is called the Caretaker. So confusing, maybe, but
Alexander's impatience is really starting to
Okay.
get the better. Even if this was a nice diversion. Better than the fucking Poro!
as you shout for the Caretaker, you all hear what seems to be like chittering coming from all around.
Oh, God, no.
As a swarm
I-
of the little plant-like creatures that you saw when you first entered this island just seem to gather around.
Oh,
Oh,
friends?
those ones did not fight us, did they? We don't need to worry too much. Alexander will walk through the wall of the crate.
No need to worry.
I mean, funny you should say that. They're all there just chittering in that lot. And one of them just seems to get so riled up on the forest edges that it actually does explode.
Concerning.
They explode now?
They always have been
Don't
able
it-
to explode.
Not the self. Do not excite the plants.
The voice goes out going, "No, don't excite the plants. They are quite volatile."
Hello, who is there? Where is that? Wrong way around.
Are you the
There is a
caretaker?
small dragon on my back.
I am a caretaker, yes.
We were sent to come and find you, I think.
Were you after the father of the grove, perhaps?
Yes, I believe so. We were sent to come and get aid. We are, confronting some of the ruination causers.
Yeah, we're
Ah.
confronting all of them. We're just pretending we're only confronting like 2.
This is the figure that you see.
Ah, hello, you're more tree than I expected.
Oh, if you think I'm more tree than you expected, then you're going to get quite the surprise.
No, I'm not. He's called the father of the grove. I'm expecting a big fuck-off tree.
That is fair. I am the caretaker. Well, a caretaker. One of 8, I suspect, still around. I don't know,
That
ever
does it,
since that blasted king rose back up, he's been calling our number.
We
Yeah,
can stop him. That's sort of the plan. We just need to find them. I think we're looking for a dredge and a Viego.
We're going for Thresh.
Fresh, that's the one. Sorry, I had to remember the correct edgy 6-letter word.
Ah, fresh weave. Who's on Minecraft?
You know I play
You just turn around at Alari's punching a tree.
I wasn't even tree punching, my pickaxe broke.
Fresh, we do recognize this name.
Yes. On that though, Alekxander now pulls out a small list of people. Yes, we're here to punch Viego, punch Fresh, punch Vex. I punch. I've actually forgotten the name of the next one, but he sure is on here. I just seem to have smudged it.
I mean, you're
I
correct.
don't know. He
You're
probably caused a war crime or two.
Yes, I mean, he did bring the island to ruin.
Well, it would be worth mentioning that if you could possibly tell us how to get to some of these people, you could save us a trip to the
Oh.
father of the girl.
I roughly know, but the location's changed. The father of the grove knows more. I can tell you, however, if you really want to wind this fresh up, I do recall his actual name. The name he
Oh.
went by before he became the monster he is now.
Oh, and let me guess, it's going to be a pun. Everyone here lives on puns.
Grail.
Grail.
Grael.
Alright, and what did he do? Go around with King Arthur?
Who is Arthur?
Who?
The
Is he
Knights of the
another-
Round Table, the young and they are.
Fuck's sake, what's the timestamp on that? If I don't animate to record that to the long to Knights of the Round Table, I'm going to be disappointed in myself. Let's call it one that. Something like that. But I can show you the way. Just keep in time and try to not knock any of the children over.
Well, seeing as we shall be traveling together, I should probably introduce myself. The first thing you should know is that I am here to fight an entire island, and you're not rooted in it, so you're fine. Alekxander.
I mean, I am part of the island still, but I was part of the island before the island fell. So, if you're after punching only the dark ruined side of the island, that won't
Hey, Alari,
include
does
me.
this count? Do I
Do you
punch
mean-
this?
No, don't punch that one.
Alright. She has spoken. I do not punch this one. Good, I like this one.
Probably for the best as well. The children seem to get quite upset when one of us get hurt. And as you've seen, when they get worked up, they get volatile.
Yes, I have to admit, I don't think I've ever seen a plant explode. Although, to be fair, for the first, until I joined the party, I'd barely seen any plants. I don't know if you've seen a Freljord, but... Well, let's just see, I've seen more plants in the last 5 minutes than I did for the first 15 years of my life.
Is that icy place up north?
Yes, it is.
Never been there myself, wouldn't survive. That's it, just wouldn't survive if I were there.
Well, shall we walk and talk, Alekxander? Well,
Oh,
we have been stopped quite a lot of times, mostly because of porals.
yes.
It was only once, but it feels like 20 times.
Funny story about that. One of them came floating over at one time on what seemed to be a chunk of an iceberg, and since then they started just popping up everywhere.
That is not an Alekxander problem.
I
That
mean,
is
they
unfortunately an Alari problem, unfortunately.
What?
You and your bloody... She was in her current persona when we were dealing with the... No, she wasn't. That was fair for that. Oh, your sister's a wanker. Anyway, let's keep going.
Okay.
Oh god, it's a good job that Delris isn't out at the moment. Just like, yes, be careful with the children, they can be quite volatile. Just everyone turns around, Delris has already like got 5 of them in a grasp.
So, how has such lively creatures as yourself managed to survive in this land of the dead? Let's take some interesting tactics.
Before the islands fell, we felt the energy surging through it, felt that ruination was to come, and we took as much of the waters of life into us as we could. It's helped us ward off the corrupting nature of this place.
I do not know what the waters of life is, but it surely sounds important, so Alekxander will accept it as a powerful item.
There isn't any of it left in the grounds anymore. All that is left there is around us, or with those we trust. Although it seems like you're doing quite well anyway in keeping these energies away, aside from the ghost following you and one of your friends does seem to be quite corrupted.
Yes, that one has a slight addiction to interesting weapons that corrupt them, and that one has an addiction to continuously fucking me over. But we don't talk about the ghost.
We don't talk about Silveen. No, no.
I mean, she's blown me up at least once in the last 10 minutes.
When you're around here, you get used to being blown up.
Yes, looks at the little tree plants. I suppose that does make a lot of sense.
I'm gonna roll something. I'm gonna roll something. I have to roll something now. 1d20 plus 3. That is a very bad roll. I'm not even gonna make people roll this, as your passive perceptions would definitely see this. One of the sapling crawls into Marai's hair.
Oh no.
Oh, but what do we do? Caretaker, what do we do?
As long as it's not agitated, it should be fine.
And even
There
if it is
are
agitated,
many.
Mariah will probably enjoy it. Anyway.
Don't fuck with me.
Oh,
Don't
no,
fuck
she's
with
not
her, she
showing
can
up now.
headbutt you and blow up. Also, I've just realized that, like, the sack version of Jimmy Savile's watching us. He's there to fix it.
I didn't. Oh.
Look at that face while looking at that tree child and tell me I'm wrong.
Oh.
People are sleeping right now.
Oh. That was pain. I wasn't expecting that. Oh.
Yeah, neither was the rest of Britain when we found out, but, you know. Anyway, nothing just happened in the last 10 seconds. That cut was for nothing, anyway.
It's not bad enough to cut, unfortunately.
It's not bad. Jimmy Savile is not bad enough to cut.
No, because everyone knows he's a shithead.
Understand that Jimmy Savile is not bad enough to cut. He's not a Hitler level threat.
Not anymore, he's not.
Anyway.
He's dead, isn't he?
Yeah.
I get a feeling this is the OJ situation again. Do I have to put the horrifying orange creature in the background again?
O.J. Simpson isn't dead, but Jimmy Savile is.
Okay.
Do you think I keep up to date with the living states of... That's not something I subscribe to on Twitter.
Well, that'll have to be edited out, because that word's not allowed on YouTube.
It really isn't. Oh, god damn it.
So all you need to do is just cut it around so that that thing I said about the last 30 seconds non-existing was actually right.
So.
Do the thing in the Simpsons episode where they blatantly cut it but don't change the time of the clock in the background.
So. As she leads you onwards towards what seems to be the middle of these two prongs. More trees seem to be growing there now, like quite large, old, thick, orcish trees. And she'll turn around and be like, well, here we are. The
Okay.
old father of the grove.
Father!
Calm down.
A spirit just pokes their head out. Alekxander, son, what are you doing here?
What?
I had to make the punk because you shouted father.
Don't do that to me.
Father, yes, I see you're
Because
not with wife.
I absolutely will have that conversation.
I know. There's a bit of a rumbling. And then, as you predicted, one of the trees does indeed start to rise from the ground. One of the
A quick
tallest of the
question.
trees. Yes.
This one doesn't explode like the little ones, does it? Because that might be disastrous if the wrong person talks to him.
Only in anger. He doesn't
Yeah.
explode, but he does have a bit of a temper.
Kuiper, you're good enough pissing people off. Just pushes Kuiper forward.
I mean, I'm good at talking to people.
Yes, but if someone bonks you and your sister comes out, then we've got a problem, because your sister's going to capture every single little thing she sees, and they are hand grenades.
That doesn't work anymore. How do you even know? You weren't here when that was happening.
I'm pretty sure you brought it up.
Those rumors get around, you see. The rest of the party blabbed about it about 22 times.
But
you get to learn this thing.
You do indeed see this thing just rise up and look you down.
I must confess, I'm going to stop talking. Remember, anger issues. Shouldn't say that out loud. I'm going to the back of the line, okay?
And he
With
just,
Waffleberg.
He will just grumble, like, intruders of the Shadow Isles. State your reason for trespassing in my grove.
Waffleberg doesn't remember how he got here, why he's here, or whatnot. He may have accidentally...
Just covers his beak.
In isles to turn isles into slightly less dead isles.
Hey, everyone, compose yourselves.
This is my composed state, and I think you know that.
Yeah.
Who is composting what?
I am trying to talk, sir.
And I am trying to listen, but there are so many voices.
Yes.
You have that issue too?
Waffleberg!
What? Okay. Waffleberg's just gonna go stand over here, I guess. Never allowed in the big kids conversation.
You're standing on one of my child.
My child now. Waffleberg's holding it in his hands.
Waffleberg, you go that way. Come on, you and me. We're gonna go for a little walk. Yes?
That's what people say to their pets when they're gonna kill them. Am I dying?
Yeah, you're coming too.
Don't, man! Don't let me die!
Come on, Mariah. I don't want you shooting the tree.
It's already picked up Mariah at this point.
Hey, put that down.
It's just look at it, it's like, been quite some time since we've had Yordles. Puts Mariah back down.
Just gonna pick up Mariah and defensively and sassily just walks off with her.
Help!
Don't worry, we're going to have fun. Maybe we'll get to shoot. I'm gonna stop talking now.
As I was saying, we are not from the Shadow Isle. We are sentinels here to quell the ruination, and we have come seeking your aid.
Sentinels. Ah, yes. The other intruders of these lands.
I believe you already have a sentinel on the island.
Yes, we allow him here. He helps take care of the dogs. He is, how we say, beneficial. You lot, however, with your little war going around, fighting each other here and there, are destroying the land.
We do not wish to. We are trying to stop Viego's spread. He is causing many issues. Not just here, but everywhere.
False king.
We are here to deal with him. And Thresh.
The betrayer.
We're here to keep what's yours on the island. Keep it on the island.
What happens on the island stays on the island. out.
Basically.
We don't wish to cause problems for you. We just wish to save people who have been taken from us by this false king.
And how do I know you are telling the truth, especially when you so willingly travel with a spirit and a corrupted being? And that's without even mentioning the madness of whatever was happening over there.
Okay, so I can explain both if you'd give me a chance. Silveen, we kind of picked up along the way. Not exactly sure where she came from or what she is, but she's been tagging along with us ever since. And Potoo saw a very fancy sword, picked it up. It belonged to a man named Ledros. And, well, now he is, well, as you can see. But he's not a bad bird.
I swear if this ghost duck talk keeps happening, I will throw a ghost honk drew at you.
Oh my god. Yes.
But he is not a bad bird.
That's a fucking lie, you know.
And as for Silveen, she has not been hostile. She's been mischievous.
You didn't really have a choice.
Yeah, she just kind of came with us. Like, try getting a ghost to stop following you when it has set its mind on it.
Oh, that's easy.
What?
A small spirit like her? Easy enough, even one of my children could take her out.
The habit of destroying people who have been non-hostile to us. She's even been quite helpful. As for the things that were going on there, they're just some more of the more chaotic members of our cabal.
Too much energy in them. Reminds me of the children when they get worked up. Make sure they don't explode.
They won't.
Are
Though
you
I-
sure about that?
They might.
Well, I'd be more worried about Mariah exploding, considering one of your children crawled into her hair.
It's fine, as long as it doesn't start a revolution.
It might. There's eggplants living in there.
Viva le hair dimensione!
A lot of things live in that girl's hair, and I don't know how. But
Yordles.
yes, Yordles.
No offense
Kuiper-
there, but you know how
Kuiper-
chaotic some of your kind can be.
He smirks and nods.
Kuiper is much calmer.
I mean, I had an encounter on the roughly 20 minutes ago. One walked up, treaded on the flower bed. I shouted at it. It called me a normie and wandered off.
Oh, you've met Vex.
Ugh.
Don't tell Alexander. Alexander is just heavily focused right now. He found out some information about someone he lost. And Waffleberg is Waffleberg. He's always kind of like that.
We've all lost.
But he's been through a lot. So, you know.
So, you want my aid in getting rid of this plague upon these isles, yes?
Yes, sir.
He's... Sorry, just spat up one of my children. Happens sometimes. I was actually having a reflux attack, but screw it. No, he actually does, like, in that tree arm he has, he actually does spit up little saplings every now and again.
He does, yeah. That's how they're born.
So he'll just look at you and be like, well, maybe a persuasion check.
Okay.
Can I help with that for
Yes, you
advantage?
can.
Lovely.
Sweet.
Nice. You didn't need it.
Okay.
I'm a charisma caster. It's this is the thing. Like Alari can speak to people really
Very
well,
well.
but she has a hot temper.
So, you see, aside from the path you took, there are 3 paths.
Mm.
Your path to the left here will take you to the heart of the Isles. I believe that is where you will find this Viego, this false king at the moment.
What about Thresh?
Fresh. Oh, Grail.
Yes.
To the right. That is
Okay.
where
Hop this
his
time.
lair
One
lives.
hop.
So left for Viego,
Crisscross.
right.
Cha-cha real smooth, y'all.
Left for
Every child explodes.
so, oh god. So left for
Sorry.
Viego, right for Grail.
Indeed. Why are
Thank-
you after this Fresh, if I may ask, after Grail?
The other sentinels said that we should deal with him while they went after Viego.
Any reason in particular? I mean, he is quite the easy person to hate, but
I wasn't here for that session, so I don't know.
He took somebody I knew.
Oh, he did
La-
take. But no,
Lantern, I'm
what?
assuming?
Hmm.
People who have been taken by the Lantern can be released. Although a very rare occurrence, it has happened at least once in the past.
Do you know how?
I know of a way that may make the situation easier. Yes.
And he's got bathroom BRB.
Okay.
Seek out. What's his? Shit.
Seek out children.
Seek out the. It's because they've all got like their little nickname thing, and I needed to remember what he says. Seek out the Shepherd of Souls. He may be able to lend you at least some part of his blessed water. Use that on the lantern, and you may be able to free your friend. If you need to know where he is at the moment, take the other path not taken. He will always be found at his graveyard. But I would advise caution if you do.
We only know caution on this island.
The Death Singer also lies there.
The who singer?
The Death Singer.
Ah, yes, the oldest fucking Shadow Island character that wasn't used at all for the goddamn Shadow Island event.
As I said, I get to do the Shadow Isles event my way. I'm friggin' correcting shit.
I know, and it's fucking brilliant. It's fucking brilliant.
What should we look out for with this death singer?
Haunting melodies. A sound like a siren. Chilling to the bone. And as if it's withering your very life force away. If you should hear such music while in the graveyard, turn, heel, and run. Unless you've got a way to block out music at least.
Appreciated. I will think on that.
Very well. And if you are going to do this, come see me once you are done. If Fresh notices you carrying the water, he will try and take it off you. But if it can be smuggled in hidden and disguised in some way. I may be able to help with such things. After all, one of my children seems to have taken a liking to you. And they
Which one?
can quite nicely hold water.
Oh, you mean the one in Mariah's hair?
She's my kid, just a watering can, thank you.
He'll tilt his head as he looks to you, and then looks over to where the others walked off.
I'm not here.
I know, that's why he's looking to where, not you, to Alari. But he
Fair.
will look over in the direction where you all walked off. That one. That one that walked off. The one bearing flesh.
I mean, they all have flesh.
The one bearing more flesh than the others.
Alekxander, the big one?
He reminds me of someone that visited me some time back, just before the king was resurrected. Tall, bold man, fancy mustache, used a shield made of a door.
Brom?
I do believe that is the name he kept calling himself, yes. He and a small group paid me a visit.
Why would they be on the Shadow Isles?
They were. I believe they are no longer. If I recall right, they were also tracking down Grail. As well as someone called Gangplank.
No.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
I
not
believe he
one.
is no longer on the islands either.
Good.
Who
That
were?
man hates us.
I don't suppose you know the others then.
Brom?
Aside, Brom had a few others with him. Some
Yes.
kind of fox-like being.
No, I don't know anyone who's a fox.
Some kind of large ponytailed man with a fancy sword.
No. Doesn't ring a bell.
An undead piratey man. With a dagger.
We know this one.
Do we?
Was it
Yes,
Pike?
we do. He's literally one of our bosses.
Is it Pike?
Yes.
Like, that may be Pike.
That would explain why I'm feeling his energies on the Isles as well at the moment.
He's also working with the
I'm
spells.
sensing other energy that I remembered long back as well on these islands. Although twisted. A young female wielding guns.
Misfortune?
I don't recall her last name, but I think it was something like that, yes.
Sarah.
That
Fortune.
would be it, yes. Her and her tall lady friend with the orb.
The orb.
Tentacles coming out of it like spiritual creatures.
Alawi?
Yes.
She's here?
No, she was here with
No.
them.
Okay. But Misfortune is here now, just
Forgive me for the tangent, it's just quite some time since I've had visitors that I didn't want to smash immediately into the ground as fertilizer.
That's because we left.
Fair.
But, so you're saying Sarah Fortune is on the island now?
Indeed.
I mean, that
and
makes
several other creatures that I've never seen before. Ugh.
It would make sense, considering she was taken over by Viego.
I will give you one last hint before I send you on your way. He will look up. And as you all look up, are you all following his gaze?
Yep.
The mist don't seem as thick above the grove, and you can actually see the night sky. You may want to rest here for the night. You see the brightest star up there?
Yes.
That is no star. That is a god,
A god?
and he is angry.
An angry god. Just when
Kuiper,
I thought could not get better.
Yep.
you feel a shudder down your spine as you're looking up. And you feel as if a gaze just briefly looks at you and then passes over you.
He actually takes a super quick step back.
Make a religion check with advantage.
Oh, God.
Congratulations, you just avoided being spotted by the aspect of war.
Oh, Pantheon?
Pantheon is using his aspect powers to essentially keep an eye on the island, and when he spots an intruder, he's going to dive bomb.
Huh.
They tend to do this in the night, thinking that someone will sneak up and use the distraction of the dark. Hence why I say it would be better for you all to rest here for the night.
Oh, Ranna.
Oh, Ranna! I'm sorry. The session's still going, don't worry.
Just.
No, I'm not going to kill you. No.
No.
No, you get hugs.
Well, but I know resurrection, so it's just, you know.
You get all the hugs instead, Ranna. But yes, Maokai has invited you all to rest at the Grove for the night,
We should rest at the grove.
where you will be safe and where you'll be able to get all your hit points and spell points and all that lovely stuff back.
Kuiper,
Yeah.
could you go and get the others? I need to ask something of our friend here.
Okay. You will trot off.
Okay.
Just kind of like, well, me and my sister are in quite the predicament right now.
He will look at you, then look to Silveen and Potoo. Well, that one's male, so it's not them.
No. Me and my sister are being forced to share the same vessel.
Oh,
2 souls forced into one body.
would you believe me if I said this is not an uncommon occurrence?
It's not.
We often get some of the children being born with 2 spirits within their husks.
And what do you do when that happens?
One spirit is reabsorbed back into me and reborn as a new sapling.
Ah.
Do you want to be a tray?
Well, I was wondering if you knew anything or anyone who could help with our situation.
Oh yes, I know the perfect person to hand you Sin's business card.
No!
Do I know anything about? There are several places you could turn for this. But all of them give their own dangers, however. Ionia is quite the spiritual lands, but whoever was ejected from the body would have to be careful not to become prey to the demons that live there as well. There are more technologically advanced places they may be able to do something, but it most likely wouldn't be an organic body.
Yes.
And lastly, there are 2 other places that could do. You could scale the mountain, but it is unguaranteed survival, and even less guarantee that the aspects would take notice. And of course, you could always get ascended.
Ascended.
Shurima, I believe they call it. The giant desert.
Oh. Yeah, that one's probably out. That bird friend of ours, he will not go back there.
Waffleberg kind of falls out of the tree. Ah!
Why were you
We
on
were
my
not
head?
supposed to make Waffleberg. We weren't supposed to find our way back. That's not how this worked.
I heard the A word and the S word and the what?
I'm sure there's been many words. Calm your tits.
But those are my best bets for if you were to try and do something like this without the whole becoming a sapling situation.
Yes.
Soraya still has ahead. We saw a fight with a ghost goose and Waffleberg. It was pretty
Was
exciting.
Waffleberg actually on Maokai's head?
No, he was in one of the taller trees.
Oh, okay. Did
Just
Waffleberg actually hear the A word and the S word?
Most likely.
Hmm.
Most likely,
Yeah.
yes.
You heard ascended and Shurima, yes.
Waffleberg is going to walk over to Alari. He is going to put a hand on Alari. Yes. No. Yes. No.
What?
Yes. Yes and no.
What?
Even Alexander.
What do you mean yes and no, Waffleberg?
Ascend! You could ascend!
And what's the no for?
No to the fact that Shurima. But, there's workarounds that.
How would you even go about ascending, though? And what would happen?
It's a long process that might be kind of a little bit painful. And if it fails, you'll probably end up like me or like the other dude. But we know a guy.
Are you talking about the dog boy?
Well, yes, and well, technically we know 2 guys, but he's the more relatable of the 2. You don't really want to go and ask the crocodile, hey, can I ascend? Because he might just fucking bite your head off. But yes, Nazis! Although he might also bite our head off if we do that. But, you could ascend. You wouldn't need a body because you would have spiritual control. You'd have everything.
Is that actually a viable choice?
I mean, you've done feats that most people haven't. I mean, fuck, we're fighting against a giant we're talking to a giant tree, no offense. I mean, that's what you are, so I don't know why you'd take offense to that. But, like, you're practically exalted at this point. And I mean, that, or we climb up Targon. Although if we fail the Ascension, that might actually be worse than dying on Targon.
Alexander has to admit that you have said about 30 things in the last few minutes, and Alexander has not understood any of them.
Well, no, like...
We will rest here for tonight, and
Very
once
well.
this is over, we will reevaluate our options.
Oh,
I will
have
send.
to rest. Oh, okay.
I will send the caretakers out to gather some supplies for you, some food and
Thank
such for the morning.
This turns to Alexander. You have to stay here. There's someone watching from the sky. Or
Then I-
anyone from the
Person
eye.
in sky!
He is a
If you
god.
want to fight the
war.
god of war, you can go ahead. Actually,
Holy bear, what are you on about?
He doesn't
Anyway.
notice.
Tell him about the god of war. Thinking about it.
Alekxander, those gods get killed around here all the time.
No,
Pretty sure Waffleberg's fighting one back in Shurima.
that
Or
was
was that
different.
just in Alexander's mind?
I mean, that is fair. So, you all rest up for the night? Because I haven't had time to do so with this, but I have time to do now, and because she is here for this session, Potoo, Maokai takes you to one side as everyone's resting. And he just stares at you. So according to your friends, you gave yourself to this corruption.
I think it was more of a mutual thing.
And you wish to remain as such?
Currently, I am receiving benefits from it.
And when those benefits end?
Oh, I haven't come to that bridge yet, so
I merely ask because, with the route that this is going at the moment, I have seen this corruption before. How long do you think you can keep your sanity before you slip and become another one of the monsters of this place?
Right. Do you have a way to keep my sanity without losing the benefits I've already gained?
I unfortunately do not. What I do offer, however, is an option to cleanse the corruption from your body when you are ready.
Right. I'll keep that in mind.
Make me a perception while you're here, Potoo.
Alright. 25.
As you're just looking out, just a bit in the distance, as you're talking with Maokai, you see what seems to be a small little swarm of something just zipping and darting past them through each other in the distance. And as it gets a bit closer, these are tiny sharks, kind of like Devi.
Mentally squeeing at the cute tiny sharks.
They often come about, eat up some of the detritus around here. It keeps things nice and clean and fresh.
It is nice to see that Debbie is not the only small shark.
Oh no, they were native to the waters here, back when it was the Blessed Isles. And when the island fell, creatures tend to keep their sanity a lot more.
Interesting.
All they did was switch up their hunting grounds. They went from hunting the seas to hunting the sky.
Hmm.
And Devi will actually emerge from Legion at this point. And we'll go play with them.
Potoo just casually watches them play. Pleased.
I have a favor to ask of you.
Hmm.
May I see that sword?
You're not going to do anything freaky, are you?
Define freaky.
Like, take off with it and never bring it back?
No. I don't think I'd be able to do so without you catching up to me anyway. I'm big and not very fast, you see.
Ah, good point. Do you just want the main one, or do you want all of them?
The main one.
Right.
The Blade of
That's-
Ledros, I believe it is.
Yes. Been calling them Legion.
Yes.
He will take it with his smaller hand, inspect it. Indeed, they are in there. And he will slowly dip that sword into the gaping maw on his right arm, which will just gently clamp down on it, and you will see the blue lights from within just flare up. And after a bit, he will pull Legion out and hand it back to you. As the caretaker said, many of their kind had been lost to the Isles.
I'm glad at least some of your people came back.
The ones that have been absorbed into the sword will be reborn as saplings and will grow back to their caretaker forms eventually. The only benefit of this cursed existence on these isles. Still, not all of it is cursed, as you can see. It's just life finding a different way.
Sure.
And he'll give you like a little hearty pat, like, you should go get rest. You're going to need it if you're going to fight Grail.
Great.
You would have learned that Grail was the original name of Thresh.
Duly noted.
Not to be confused for the Noxian Grail.
Yeah. And they should all rest up for the night.
Before... Oops, sorry.
Actually, I was about to say, as you all rest for the night, aside from Kuiper, who does his own version of resting because he doesn't sleep. So Kuiper would be the one to see this. Kuiper.
Alexander would take a while to get to
Yep.
sleep. He wants to do shit.
As Alexander finally heads to sleep, just moments afterwards, little white shape just runs out, runs up, stares at Alexander, goes "Ah!" in the face, and then runs back off.
I'm white. What?
It was the
Poro.
it was the Poro back. I wanted to get
Shouting
that
at
in there. But as you all rest up for the night, that is where we're going to end it for tonight.
Oh, I was gonna say before
Oh.
we go to sleep, Waffleberg was wanting to talk with Alari, but that can wait.
I mean, how long have we been recording for? 2.5 hours. Come up to 2.5 hours. We've got some time. I'll quickly resend that's where we're ending it for tonight. Go for it.
Waffleberg's gonna check and see if Alari's awake. If not, he's going to wake her up.
Alari's awake.
Okay. I know I am the least reliable source of information, especially since I'm crazy. But Waffleberg thinks that we should at least, after all of this, talk with the clergy, talk with the priests and Shurima, and they can see if you are exalted, and then I can fix that, and then and this it's basically fate.
Okay.
Like, you fell into Zon. You met Waffleberg. Waffleberg's brother was an exalted. Before, you got eaten.
Yeah.
That's a very important thing about being exalted. Don't get eaten. That's a step a lot of them miss. But, you could go through the process and we could see if you're exalted, and then we can see, and then you could be chosen by one of the Celestials. That's how it works. The Celestials come, they choose you, and you become ascended. You become Sun Warrior.
Do you think it'd actually work?
I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, it didn't work for Waffleberg, but Waffleberg's not nearly as brave as a lot of others, nor sane, nor was Waffleberg at his best at that point in time. And let's face it, you're lucky. You've got an immense amount of luck. I mean, in an odd way, in a very fucked up way. Yet you've somehow survived through everything that you've been through. I mean, you have a better chance than Waffleberg. Tell you that, or we climb Targon.
Yes, and
Ugh.
just,
Where the fuck did you come from?
just from
Oh,
the
for-
side, just like.
for-
"Ugh."
Forgive my eavesdropping. I'll cover my ears.
No, it's fine. See, because you like, although different, your aspects are like are ascended, and it I think it would work.
It could.
yes,
Just turns
once
out,
we're done, we can investigate.
Alari gets ejected from the body, becomes a Darkin.
I mean, you'd have your own body then too. But in that, and I mean, all we have to do is really just go and ask the priests, "Hey, is this an exalted?" And then they say yes, they say no. If they say no, well, then we climb Targon and look for some other source. And if they say yes, well, there we are. And I mean, the chance of becoming a Bakai is very, very slim, despite the fact that there's actually quite a few of us.
The chance is very slim, because the chance of what actually happens is you die.
Yeah, that's also a thing. You could die, or one of you could die. But the same thing could happen on Targon. Like, it's a 50-50 situation. Well, a 50, 25, 25 situation. But Moonman thinks if anybody could become ascended, it'd be you. You're smart, you're brave, you're,
You have
well, you're a lot of things.
you have what we call the plot armor.
I mean that, but you're also just an overall good person. You're a lot better than Waffleberg is. I mean, Waffleberg hasn't done a lot of good, and I mean, Moonman here can't even remember 95% of the things that he's done. And then we have Alekxander, who's Alexander, which he's basically already a god. I don't think anything phases on him.
We should try Shurima before Targon.
I'm sorry,
Although I was going to ask about Targon. I have some business up there.
I'm sorry, I'm just imagining now, just after saying that about Alexander just flexes in his sleep.
We were meant to be going to Targon anyway. We need to.
Yes, but I know we were going to Targon, but we never fully planned to actually climb Targon, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
And just to do that, I mean, we could climb to Targon and that'd do nothing. We'd actually have to get to Targon Prime, which is a whole nother story.
Yes.
Also, there's the whole thing that you have to be chosen by an aspect as well, which is the same thing with Ascended. If a Celestial chooses you, then there's that as well. It's a lot of choosing stuff. In fact, they're very choosy, but once it happens, it's... Also, if you become an Ascended... not an Ascended, but if you become an aspect, you might lose your entire personality and become the aspect. That's a thing. Doesn't happen a lot, but I mean, it sometimes happens. Doesn't happen with Ascended, I think. I mean, you could end up like Zerth. You could end up like me. I mean, there's worse things.
I'll just kind of, just like after when this conversation, once we've finished kind of talking about this, she will just kind of hold them both into a hug
Ah!
and just be like,
okay.
it's like, Waffleberg, I trust you more than most people, despite your quirks. And Kuiper, thank you. You've
Kuiper,
always
thank you.
been.
I'm not saying that I trust you more than most people, but thank you.
She hasn't known him. Well, she's known Waffleberg. Waffleberg has been very good to the twins.
I'm about to say you can't say you know Waffleberg for long. It was like the difference of 1 or 2 sessions.
Hey, be quiet over there. Some of us are trying to sleep.
It's like,
Goodness gracious.
So-
You think you're having a party?
it's just like, thank you, Kuiper. You've always been another level head in the party.
So,
Is not a problem. We should talk about this again when we're off this island.
Yes.
so
Waffleberg will probably forget, so somebody will have to remind him.
you all
Let's get
you all go asleep. Aside from, I believe the only person in this party who doesn't need to sleep is Kuiper.
Yep.
Kuiper. As everyone's asleep, you hear like a psst, hey, psst. I don't know if that even came through over the microphone or not.
Did he like lets like a tiny scrap of paper drop, and he's like, real shit.
Over here.
You all head towards the noise.
Yep. As you head towards the noise, a figure hidden in the shadows just goes out. It's like, okay, first things first, just calm your tits, okay?
He looks down.
Look, we've both got some issues on this island we need sorting out, right? And despite our differences, I think we could probably work something out.
Don't know who this is.
And as they step out from the shadows, with just like a slight little grin, which is odd for them, even if you are a normie.
I imagine we're all walking up by a small nuclear bomb.
Just like closes his eyes and just exhales. He's like, okay.
And that's where we're ending it for this week.
Oh boy, that's gonna go down really well. I'll just pre-warn you now. I'm gonna kick the shit out of that thing.
So, thank you everyone for tuning in this week for the Dark Tides of Runeterra, and we'll see you next time.
Next week, Alekxander kills the entire party to kill that thing.
Do-do-do-do.